Just before we get into the video, if you think you've seen this video before, then you kind of have. But the last section is edited to include a bunch more stuff like screenshots and evidence that was provided to me by the person who wrote the accusations. The inclusion of this information makes for a more solid video. If you want to skip to the stuff you haven't seen, then there's a timecode on screen. But outside of that, the video starts now. In this video, we're going to be talking about Sebastian Meepz. He was recommended to cover in the comments of the previous video. Like everyone else in the series, he has disappeared off the internet. This is the online disappearance of Sebastian Meepz. Sebastian hasn't posted on social media since 2018. He just disappeared. His last post on Instagram was him alluding to recording another cover and posting more videos. This was posted on September 22nd, 2018, although his last video on his channel was August 12th of the same year, just over a month prior, meaning that the cover never got posted, nor did more videos. Interestingly though, the comments on the post that I mentioned are limited. For example, I can't even comment on it. Although he did respond to someone in 2020 saying he was okay, and a while before that he said he was okay just working and paying off things. His last post on Twitter was just over a month later on October 25th, where he posted it was a beautiful day to go outside. Currently has 44,000 subscribers on YouTube, 28,000 followers on Instagram, and 9,000 followers on Twitter. Although it may be worth mentioning that his Facebook page says his bio was updated in 2020. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but he did reply to someone in 2020, so he was around then. Also, the amount of subscribers that he had and followers were higher previously, but considering he's been missing for a while, they have gone down as a result. He was on YouTube from 2016 to 2018, posting around 70 videos in that time. They were largely covers and pranks, that kind of thing. But what would cause an up-and-coming creator to just quit every social media seemingly out of nowhere? In April of 2020, there was a post on the r/conspiracy theories subreddit about Sebastian entitled, "I think Sebastian Meepz is dead, here's why." It reads as follows. Sebastian Meepz was a small YouTuber that mysteriously stopped making videos in August of 2018 after posting weekly since making his channel. Robbie, who is a medium-sized YouTuber, a friend of Sebastian, posted creative videos with his friends Sebastian and Lonnie bi-weekly. But in 2018, the same year Sebastian stopped creating videos, that changed. Robbie posted a video titled "I have been depressed," where he mentions two of his childhood best friends have died. He doesn't mention names or how they died. After this video was posted, Robbie stopped posting creative videos and just started mass producing videos of him following 5-minute crafts. He also took down his playlist of him doing videos with Sebastian, but left his playlist of videos with Lonnie up. Lonnie still posts videos. I have no idea if any of this is true, but it's just a theory that's been working in my head. Below this post there are 2 comments. It says there's 6, but there's only 2 that show at the moment for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they read as follows. It is likely, given the evidence, that Robbie has shifted to a much younger audience, so maybe that's why he hasn't come out about it. Another comment says, I can second to this. It's very odd because he stopped posting on Instagram at the same time he stopped on YouTube. It would match up with Robbie making said video as well. Robbie has also moved apartments/houses with his girlfriend Tori, and his channel is nothing but crafts anymore with 0 vlogs. Maybe to keep what happened to Sebastian a secret. I personally hope Sebastian is okay, but the way things are pointing, it doesn't look that way. Right. So we're all on the same page, yes? Let's continue, because let's just say this perceived reason for disappearance and suspected death is not true. Although the post and thoughts do make sense, but they're missing context. So let's talk about the missing context. I want to start with a message that was sent to me that offers context surrounding the details of the Reddit post, or what it mentions at least. I'm not mentioning who this person is, but they actually messaged me about something else, and I told them I was planning on making this video and a different video that you'll see in the future, and they were able to shed some light on this specific situation. And they said the videos with Sebastian disappeared the same time the allegations came out, and this was because Robbie wasn't willing to support that kind of behavior whatsoever, and within his inner circle he vehemently disavowed it and made it extremely clear anyone else doing anything inappropriate will be excommunicated as well. Robbie experimented with content and removed things that didn't really fit the new niche he had found, which as the Reddit post said was crafts. I know that you're probably confused about why it was mentioned that there were allegations. Before I read them, I just want to say two things. One is that this would explain why he has his comments limited, as I mentioned earlier. Although I didn't realize this in the initial video, the timeline of when Robbie removed the videos and the first time the allegations came out don't align exactly, with the allegations coming out in 2017 and the removal of the videos coming in 2018, according to the Reddit post at least. Although I am not suggesting at all that Robbie was okay with it, given the person was being silenced, I think it's a fair assumption that Robbie took action as soon as he found out about it. This part of the video comes with a trigger warning for assault and things along those lines. If you don't want to listen to it or watch it due to the nature of the topics, you can skip to the time code on screen to watch the end of the video. I'm not going to be reading the following statement word for word. I'll basically edit it on the fly as I'm speaking. In 2017, I was assaulted by a man named Sebastian, known on YouTube as Sebastian Meepz. I met Sebastian on YouNow and he quickly convinced me to let him come over and stream with him, since having girls in the stream makes more money. I said in my initial video that YouNow doesn't have archives, so it will be difficult to prove, but it turns out that there are screenshots of it. Proof of Sebastian going live at that time at least. Sebastian quickly goes fans to ship us and would ask them if we should kiss, and they would beg us to kiss. I refused. I got more uncomfortable as it went on, as he was rubbing my inner thigh. We got off the stream and I brushed it off and let him edit his videos while I laid down. I figured he would go home when he was done. Sebastian laid in bed a while later, had a couple more failed attempts to kiss me, and then he rubbed himself on me and shortly after used his hands. I got the courage to ask him to leave, and the next day he texted me saying I made him uncomfortable and he blamed it all on me. Speaking of text, here's text between the person and Sebastian that they sent me. Just advice, you're not going to get famous like you brag about if you act like this. You talk shit about your friends, fans, and even your managers behind their back. You talk shit about blank and blank, but won't say it to them because blank gives you bars on YouNow. You say blank's music is shitty, but then tell others how awesome it is on stream. You talk shit about blank and blank behind their back. That blank dude and all of your Instagram quote-unquote friends. You can tell that there's a little bit missing between the bottom of this text and the next text. I don't know what that says, but you can tell that the screenshots were taken 7 seconds apart, so they were going through the messages with Sebastian at the time. They went on to say, you came into my home and tried to hold my hand, and even after I backed away and rejected you, you continued to put your hands on me and make me feel violated in my own home. And after 2 hours of ignoring you, you finally got the memo to leave. So F you, blank, please do not contact me anymore, we are not friends. Sebastian responded and said, sad face, wah, no, obviously, lol, lol, lol. To which they responded and said, I don't see how this is funny, but alright. To which he said, I don't see how this wasn't obvious, I thought we discussed this. It's not funny, no, but I find it funny we're talking about it again. Sorry for triggering you, like, are we friends? That is my question. I was confused about the we are talking about it again thing in context with this set of messages. I thought that there was some missing, but I have been told that there was multiple conversations about what this person was comfortable with prior to them meeting, and that's what the talking about it again is referring to. At the same time I knew Sebastian, I witnessed him, aged 23 or 24, doing Snapchat conversations with 14 to 16-year-old girls, flirting and talking about potential relationships. Sebastian told me if I could find fame online, I could find love too. He told me he was willing to wait a couple of years, but I still considered this to be illegal and grooming. When I tried to come forward on Twitter in 2017, Sebastian's management, Brian Starr's label, quickly contacted me threatening to sue me and told me it wasn't as serious as it looks. During the short period before I was scared and deleted everything, a couple of his fans contacted me that Sebastian was freaking out, calling them, the underage girls, and was begging them not to believe me and that I was lying. In regards to these messages, there was one that was sent to me which is this. You can pause it and read it if you want. I'm not going to read it in this video. Anyway, on with the video. The same people that protected Austin Jones, among other bad people, protected the one who hurt me and still signed him and gave him a platform to victimize more girls. He is now in his mid to late 20s. I do not believe he creates videos or content anymore, but he is still a groomer and a bad person, and he was protected by Brian Stiles and many other people who knew about this and let him. Credible YouTuber that I talked to even said Sebastian was telling people he was 15 at an event so he could talk to little girls. Please watch out if he ever comes back. It would make sense if this is true. It would explain the sudden disappearance. And Robbie taking down videos with him. Outside of the craft side of it, of course, the timeline makes a lot of sense. It all adds up. What was said about Brian is something that's somewhat confirmed in a video by Shannon Taylor, where she mentioned that Brian Stiles tried to silence her as well about a member that he was managing, so that can be somewhat backed up to some degree. I'm treading around the legality because I don't want to get sued, just to be clear. I'm taking everything in this video at face value. As I said, Sebastian hasn't responded or said anything about this. This has been out for a few years now, but I don't think anyone has spoken about it before, and I think it's important because it explains a lot. The allegations explain a lot, I mean. I could go into more detail a little bit, but I want to leave it there for today. Thanks for watching the video. If you were a fan of Sebastian, hopefully this clears it up, or if you only know about him from this video, hopefully it makes sense. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. If there's people you want to suggest, also leave them in the comments below. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon for more content.